Good afternoon, everyone. Here in Brazil, it's still morning, so good morning for everybody that's in Brazil. My name is Marcos Terra, and I'm here. I'm glad to be here to present this paper, Performance Management for IT Professionals, a Humanistic Model. This study was developed by me together with Vanessa Tavares de Oliveira Barros and Rodolfo Miranda de Barros. We are from State University of Londrina, Paraná, Brazil. This is the little agenda. We start with a introduction, then I'll talk about some context and problems, present the research methodology, and describe the HPM model, the Human Performance Model. Try to bring some discussion, conclusions, and questions. Society nowadays has transformed performance-related issues into situations focused merely on goals and competitiveness. What's the matter with this? Especially for IT professionals, they have the feeling of being under constant pressure due to the need to deliver immediate results. Because of that, human performance management has become an essential process inside organizations. Because this tries to improve efficiency and productivity. At the same time, it brings satisfaction and motivation to the employees. This study tries to propose a performance management model for especially for IT professionals, based on the philosophical movement of humanism and in addressing aspects such as equality, respect, and personal and professional development. But what is human performance management? The main objective of it is to provide a performance measure for the activities carried out by employees. As you can see in the figure, it's a complex process that has many phases, that has many techniques, methodologies, variables to consider, people and applications. Besides that, it's based on a vast amount of theories in the most diverse areas of research, such as economy, philosophy, psychology, information systems, and many others like business management. This makes the study on the subject very extensive and deep. But what is the central point of analysis here is the organizational culture. We need to understand that organizational culture is a pattern of basic assumptions for integration and adaptation. Inside the organization, it's believed that it's correct way to perceive, think, and feel in relation to the problems and demands. So in order to understand how the actions proposed in a human performance management are actually performed, you need to know the organizational culture, or the culture of the organization. And to understand the effects that happen, or how this management affects the employees, we need to understand the organization culture. So we presented here 3 levels of organization, of elements that compounds the organization culture. Here, the artifacts or the documents that makes the structure and process more visible. The exposed values, that is the strategies, goals, philosophies, vision, mission, or everything that justify how to perceive, think, and feel about the problems. And the underlying assumptions is the unconscious actions taken for granted, beliefs, habits of perceptions, thoughts, and feelings. So this is the ultimate source of values and actions that we can find. But it's not enough to consider only the organization culture. You need to understand the human needs and what should be considered by organization. And here we list some of them, some of the needs: physical and mental health, intellectual development, emotional growth, experience in the fields of arts and culture, social connectivity, and moral and spiritual development. This, when you consider this, the human needs, you can evolve from instrumentalism to humanism. That is, you start working through people, considering people as resources, then you start seeing them as partners and teammates. And the end of it, or the last stage, is when the organization has an explicit goal that indicates the development of the employees, not only professionally, but in the personal side. And why to indicate a model specifically for IT professional? Because you believe that IT professional has unique characteristics and competence. The IT professional must have skills, not only technical, but humanistics and business skills like communication, leadership, conflict resolution, among a lot of others. And the issues and conditions faced by IT professionals are also difficult, and most of them are unique, like lack of ethics in IT, job or career turnover, gender imbalance, lack of treatment of minorities, evolution, change of project work models that is constant, disease caused by overload, stress, exhaustion, and even burnout, conflicts between work and social life, and the speed, the rapid technological evolution that brings the perception of professional stagnation or obsolescence. So that's why we believe, or you treat this model specifically for IT professionals. And how we did it, né? What is the methodology of this research? We consider the design in science research methodology, the DSRM process, that has a sequence of 6 phases or 6 stages. In this research, we covered the first 4: identify the problem and motivate, define objectives of a solution, design and development, and demonstration of how suitable is the model. The other 2, communication, we consider that we're doing this phase right now, and in this conference, when we propagate what we're doing, and the evolution is undergoing study. It's important to say that this paper here, this research, is part of a big study that will propose ways of implementate this, how to implementate this model with tools, with good practice, with methodologies, and so on. Well, but how is the model? What is the solution? What's the proposition? How is the solution? So the solution proposes a humanistic model for performance management, all right, focus on the needs of the IT employees specifically, guided by the following principles: promotion for human persons, ethics, transparency, justice, equality, inclusion, objectivity and celerity, respect of individuality and dignity, and personal and professional development. This is the guides for our study. Here's a graphical representation of our model. When you see the human being is a central concern of this model. And now I'll describe this model better. So the human being must be the central concern of human performance management, because the success of this management depends on how we treat humans, or how the humans are treated. When you think about the human needs, you can attend the human needs without putting the human beings in the center of the process. you can't be marginalized. You can be put aside, better saying. So that's the central point of the model. The human being must be the central concern. Surrounding like a ring, surrounding the human being, it's the IT profile. This IT profile represents all characteristics, skills, competence, knowledge, and needs that compose and differentiate IT professional from the others. As you can see, it's a ring. It can't be ignored. It can't be all the process, all the phases, all the process, all the actions taken in the process must consider the IT profile. Must respect and consider this profile. It can't be ignored. The planning stage is the you can say that is the initial phase when you define and presents the evolution measurement proposed for the human performance. Like all the other phases that I'll talk about here, it must be person-centered and must has collaborative characteristics. All the stakeholders or all the persons who is involved with the process must participate because we need to address the personal and professional growth needs, and you can you can achieve this involving all the stakeholders. You can't doing this only considering part of the people of the process, and all the decisions must be taken jointly and equitably in this phase. The performance appraisal phase, it's the main part of the process when you see what is planned was really executed. But we believe that you have to avoid to rank it to not only on time to time evaluation. Sorry, you must address some characteristics. How can I say, like creativity, like leadership, like conflict resolution can't be just can't just receive a grade or something like a value 10, 0 to 10 or ABC or good, not good. Anyway, this is not okay when you think about human performance management, because it's do not create empathy. This do not develop critical thinking in employees. So it's bad for the model. The review stage is it's opportunity to analyze what has been executed in this cycle of analysis of human performance management. Sorry. Então this is the time to analyze what has been executed and what has to be adjusted, or what points needs to be corrected on what worked and did not work it in this cycle, preparing for the next one. So the review phase represents the phase when you check everything we did and try to do better next time. And the next or last phase is monitoring, improving phase, or follow up and support. Now here, as like the others, the entire organization community is invited to collaborate, because with them we can develop the personal and professional goals. This is step important to notice. This step of this phase occurs during all the HPM process, not only in a isolated manner, but during all the process, and can be executing formal mentoring, coaching, physical mental health support, transfer and promotion of knowledge. These improvements can be during the process, correcting the course, correcting the goals, but also it can reflect on the process itself. You can make the process better, including new phases, new actions during the execution. So that's why it's so important that the entire organization community participate on that. But how adequate is the solution in relation to the human performance management framework? That is the discussion. How can we say that it is okay? So we believe, or you conclude, that the solution presents a management process with well-defined phases and elements that deals with organization contextual factors and allows the adoption of existing approaches and methodologies related to the field of HPM. What I'm trying to say here, that is what you have today, the model can fit what you have today in terms of human performance management. What you have to change is the focus, primarily is the focus. We focus now, the most of management process focus on results. You have to change the focus and focus on the human beings. You focus on the IT profile. Then if you change this, you're starting to do a better process, you better management. You get a better performance. And what is contemplated by the solution in relation of humanist principles? Respect of human beings and equal treatment, improvement of organizational justice, concern with personal and professional development, planning and evolution of a human performance in appropriate manner. And it's an important thing, collaboration in talent interpretation to reduce the turnover. That is a very problem that every organization faces today. So concluding, we hope that this study can somehow contribute to a better, more sustainable world, aware of the importance of valuing life and human dignity. In the same line of thought, this research intends to have a positive effect on IT performance, humanize relationship between IT employees and their organization. We believe that the limitation of the model, the main limitation of the model reside on the fact that the study considered a generic process of HPM, and somehow the initial adoption must have some adaptation, customization in order to work. We believe there's some overfit in the model, but you can manage to solve these problems. And as a future work, already said before, the development of complementary research is indicated to produce new artifacts based on the model, such as good practice, process, methodology, surveys, information systems. This is under the process movement, and we're already doing this. This is some reference we used on this presentation, and I'm here to answer any question that you have. Thank you again. I'm so happy to be here participating on this conference.
Well, thank you very much for a very interesting presentation about performance management of IT professionals. And are there some questions for Marcus?
Okay.
Thank you for your interesting presentation. It was really informative. I would like to know if you are going to test your model in any IT team, or it was maybe already tested anywhere.
We are going to test the model. We are developing right now the methodology, the surveys, and even a maturity model that we're trying to implement this model in practice. That's all about. This model is just the beginning of something bigger, and we hope we'll test this until next conference, and I'll bring it here to you. I hope so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And other questions? And I have some reflections. It is very interesting approach to IT specialists and management of IT professionals. And how do you think your findings can be applied in practice? Have you already deployed your research findings in practice, and what are your plans in this regard?
Well, it's very interesting. We are perceiving when you started talking about this humanistic approach that the organization has some, how can I say, some barriers that you have to break, some paradigms, some problems that they doesn't even know that they have to solve before understand what is performance can be measured. As an example, we discover some organizations that evaluate leadership of a person who works alone. So what is the sense of it? Then when you start talking to managers about this, it opens a new world for them, and that's why we so excited to continue this research.
Oh yes. And some questions?
Yes, that's Jana speaking. I have a question to the presenter. However, it was partially, I think, answered, explaining the first response. I'd like to ask the authors about the, let's say, not qualitative, but quantitative perspective of performance measurement. As you say during the presentation, that is the part of wider research. I understand that you are planning to collect some data and build finally some model. However, as we all know, in the scientific world, the data, the numbers are the most important. So, did you wonder how such a model should be constructed, how the data should be aggregated, or is it only planned in the future? Thank you.
No, we are already studying this. We agree. I agree with you when you say that data is a very important part of scientific study. And how we gonna do that? We're gonna present a kind of survey to the involved organizations to check the level of them based on the maturity model we already developed. So based on that, you trace how is going to be the path to achieve a better performance management, and we will collect the data through the steps. I don't know if I answered the question, or so basically that's the model or the path we are following to reach a better comprehension of the human performance.
Yes, thank you. I understand your answer. I'm wondering about, maybe you find interesting, or maybe you will start read about this approach, as it seems to be that the environment, the manufacturer influence that performance measurement. So maybe you can find it interesting to use some taxonomic measure or multi criteria decision-making method deriving from American school, as they are giving synthetic measures or, for example, such performance. There is a lot of usable areas for this method. However, I think that you can find it interesting in the future research. Thank you so much.
Thank you for collaboration. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Marcus.